Hey Chiefs fans, the action behind the scenes is heating up as we get closer to a huge showdown with the Houston Texans. Head coach Andy Reid is putting the final touches on the game plan, and there's some big news coming out of Kansas City. With Patrick Mahomes leading the charge for a historic third championship, the Chiefs are making moves to get even stronger. The team has just made a key roster change that could have a big impact heading into the divisional round. This game is shaping up to be incredibly exciting. If you believe we've got this in the bag, smash that like button. Drop a comment saying, "Go Chiefs! We're going to win!" In some roster news, the Chiefs have released tight end Robert Tonyan from the practice squad and signed wide receiver Jason Brownlee. Tonyan, who's got 30 years of experience, joined Kansas City just before the Christmas game against the Steelers, but he never made it to the active roster. Even with his time playing with Aaron Rodgers at the Packers, the team has decided to move on. With Peyton Hendershot now healthy and ready to step in, it's clear the Chiefs are making moves to keep the team in top shape for what's ahead. The Chiefs are feeling strong about their tight end depth as they head into the postseason. But let's talk about the newest addition to the team. Jason Brownlee, an undrafted free agent from the Jets, has joined Kansas City's practice squad. While his stats in New York weren't anything to write home about, his performance during training camp caught some eyes, which earned him a spot on the 53-man roster. Last season, he made 5 catches for 56 yards and a touchdown. Nothing spectacular, but enough to show some potential. With the Jets missing the playoffs, his contract ended, and the Chiefs were able to bring him in. So, what does this mean for the Chiefs moving forward? Well, Brownlee will start on the scout team with Justin Ross and Montrell Washington, but he's now just one step away from getting called up if the team needs him. Andy Reid understands how crucial depth is, especially as the postseason approaches. This move ensures that Patrick Mahomes has plenty of options, even as we get deeper into the playoffs. Now, I'm curious, Chiefs fans, what are your thoughts on these moves? Do you feel good about the team's depth at wide receiver going into the playoffs? Or do you think we could use more experience in that position? Let's take a look at the Chiefs' final injury report as we get ready to face the Houston Texans in the divisional round this Saturday. It's a huge game at Arrowhead, and there are a few key updates you need to know about. First up, cornerback Jalen Watson is still dealing with that ankle injury. He's officially listed as questionable for the game. Coach Andy Reid had some positive things to say about Watson's rehab, praising his effort to get back on the field. But here's the catch. Watson will need to be activated to the 53-man roster before 3 p.m. Arrowhead time on Friday if he's going to play, so keep an eye out for that final decision. Wide receiver Mecole Hardman is also listed as questionable, still working through a knee issue. He's currently on the reserve injured list, and while there's hope he might return later in the postseason, it looks like he won't be available for the game against Houston. But here's the good news. Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones, DJ Humphries, and Shamari Connor are all fully cleared and ready to go. No setbacks, which is exactly what we need as we aim for another deep playoff run. On the Texans side, they're facing a few injury concerns of their own. Linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair, wide receiver Robert Woods, and tight end Tegan Quitoriano are all listed as questionable. Al-Shaair missed their Week 16 matchup against the Chiefs due to suspension, and his limited practice this week raises doubts about whether he'll be ready to go. Running back Joe Mixon also popped up on the injury report late in the week after sitting out Friday's practice with an ankle issue. But here's an interesting update. Texans right guard Shaq Mason, who was originally expected to miss the game, has now been cleared to play. He's been splitting reps with backup Juice Scruggs all week, so their offensive line could be at full strength after all. Chiefs Kingdom, this game is looking like it's going to be a real test of depth and resilience. With Watson and Hardman both questionable, the defense will need to step up against a Texans offense that might not be at full strength either. Now, I want to hear from you. If Watson is still a little limited, do you think the Chiefs should activate him, or should they play it safe and hold him out for a potential AFC Championship game? As the Chiefs get ready for Saturday's game, it's clear that Isaiah Pacheco isn't just playing for a win. He's chasing greatness. With 635 yards from scrimmage and 4 rushing touchdowns in just 7 postseason games, Pacheco has been a huge force for Kansas City in the playoffs. But here's the real kicker. Isaiah Pacheco has been on a roll in the postseason. He's recorded at least 75 yards from scrimmage in every playoff game he's played in. And get this, if he hits that mark again against the Texans, he'll join a legendary group of Pro Football Hall of Famers. Only 2 running backs in NFL history have started their playoff careers with 8 straight games of 75-plus yards from scrimmage. Terrell Davis from the Broncos and Emmitt Smith from the Cowboys. Yep, those Hall of Famers. Pacheco has the chance to tie them and cement his place among the all-time greats. But that's not all. If Pacheco pulls it off, he'll also become the 5th player to reach 75 yards from scrimmage in 8 consecutive postseason games. The list includes legends like Franco Harris and, wait for it, his own teammate, Travis Kelce. Kelce, who's destined for the Hall of Fame, had an incredible streak of 9 consecutive games with 75-plus yards from scrimmage from 2020 to 2022. Chiefs Kingdom. Think about that for a second. We're talking about a select club filled with future Hall of Famers, and Pacheco is about to join them in just his 3rd season. And here's the wild part. Pacheco already made history by becoming the first running back to win 2 Super Bowls in his first 2 NFL seasons. Now he's got the chance to strengthen his Hall of Fame case even more. Of course, it won't be easy. Sharing the backfield with Kareem Hunt and Samaje Perine could limit his opportunities. But don't count Pacheco out. After 2 weeks of rest, Isaiah Pacheco is feeling healthier and ready to make a big impact. So, Chiefs fans, what do you think? Will Pacheco keep his impressive postseason streak alive and add another unforgettable chapter to his already incredible career? Now, let's circle back to the injury updates. One of the biggest question marks is cornerback Jalen Watson, who's listed as questionable due to that nagging ankle injury. Coach Reid shared some encouraging words about Watson's dedication to his rehab, but there's a catch. Watson will need to be activated to the 53-man roster by 3 p.m. Arrowhead time on Friday, if he's going to play. Keep an eye on that roster move as we get closer to game day. Wide receiver Mecole Hardman is also listed as questionable as he continues to deal with a knee issue. He's still on the reserve, chalk injured list, and while there's hope he could return later in the postseason, it looks like he won't be available against the Texans. But here's the good news. Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones, DJ Humphries, and Shamari Connor are all fully cleared and ready to go. No setbacks there. Exactly what we need as we head into this crucial game. No setbacks on the Chiefs' side, which is exactly what we need as we push for another deep playoff run. On the Texans' side, however, they're dealing with some injury concerns of their own. Linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair, wide receiver Robert Woods, and tight end Tegan Cotoriano are all listed as questionable. Al-Shaair missed the Week 16 game against the Chiefs due to suspension, and his limited practices this week have left his availability in doubt. Running back Joe Mixon was a surprise addition to the injury report after missing Friday's practice with an ankle issue. But here's some good news for the Texans. Right guard Shaq Mason, who was initially expected to miss the game, has been cleared to play after splitting reps with backup Juice Scruggs throughout the week. So, their offensive line could be at full strength after all. Chiefs Kingdom, this game is shaping up to be a real test of depth and resilience. With Watson and Hardman both questionable, the defense will need to step up against a Texans offense that might be lacking some firepower as well. Now, I want to hear from you. If Watson is still a little limited, do you think the Chiefs should activate him, or should they play it safe and hold him out for a potential AFC Championship game? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on every move as the Chiefs chase history this postseason. Let's go, Chiefs!